Hey, everybody, welcome back to the VAU Mic Check. Tonight, we're going to stay on the same track we were on last week with finding out where you're at in the scene and just playing off of that and playing off of people who really aren't in the room with you. Because as in this script, we have someone you're calling out to, a waitress. Of course, you are playing off of another person. Now, we can do this one of two ways. We can play off of one another as far as person one and person two goes, or we can do it in the style that we would do it in a normal, 21st century voiceover session where we don't have an ensemble to work with and you're working off of the script alone. So with that, who is ready?
I guess we'll put it to a common vote, huh?
Yeah.
I think we should probably go both ways. Why not try it both ways?
I like that too. Maybe we start just by ourselves, and then we can go dual.
Yeah, like you're in a studio with somebody else standing side by side with them actually recording.
Good idea.
Hey, I've had auditions that were like that, so I mean, stuff like that does happen.
Yes. So,
The audition where the other people were with you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was
at the
me and
studio.
another person in the same studio recording at the same time for an audition.
We should do a third way where it's you reading and the other person reading is just like the assistant to the director, because that's a tougher read.
Yeah, you don't get them to play off of that at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, then you get the non-emotional deadpan.
Okay.
Well, why don't we go ahead and start with partner reads, and then we'll we'll try it individually if we got the time.
Okay, there we go. And which two people want to volunteer first?
I'll take it.
Okay. We have Dan
I'll go.
And Joe.
and Joe.
See.
So I say Dan's person number one.
Uh-huh.
And
Okay.
Joe is person number two.
Sounds good.
Okay.
No A1 for my hamburger? Miss, some A1, please. Imagine a great place like this without A1 on the table.
Yeah,
Nothing like it on hamburgers.
you bet.
After all, what's a hamburger? It's chopped steak. And what's better on steak than A1? That's why I have it at home all the time.
So why didn't you ask for it?
Guess out of sight, out of mind. Miss, some A1, please.
Ask for it.
Miss, some A1, please.
Now, come on, get in there.
It was kind of weird, but at on that line, imagine when you kicked it off, you sounded like an announcer.
Yeah, I know. I caught myself on that one.
Yeah, and again, like last week, remember where you are. All right, so you're in maybe a little burger place. All right, so yeah, you probably got a lot of people talking, but generally people are not super loud with each other in front of when they're just sitting together at a table sharing a meal.
It actually looks more, because a great place like this, you're not at McDonald's.
Yeah, so it's more of maybe, I don't know, like
Steak and Shake.
Like my
a
bar.
little more upscale. Yes, like Dan's Bar. I was thinking of someplace, a little more upscale, like Dan's Bar.
Well, thank you.
There you go.
Yes, I've never been there, but yes,
We'll use it as a reference since you're familiar
yes.
with it.
Hi, Goldie.
Hi, Goldie.
Hey, welcome.
But obviously, it's a great place, and they should have A1 on the table, and they don't.
Bastards.
And I imagine person two just sitting there eating like, yeah, okay, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, because exclamation marks are so off-putting at times. Because our punctuation is kind of limited. It's very difficult for us to show some sort of quiet emphasis, if that makes much sense. Because the only way we can really end it off is either a period or an exclamation mark, right? So they chose an exclamation mark, which means they want some energy on it. But I think a full-on "yeah" is a little out of place when you're one-on-one with somebody else at a table.
Yeah.
If you want to emphasize, you can embolden it. You can embolden the word.
It also depends on the direction for the spot, because they could be going the comedy angle where person one is normal and person two is like your best friend at a tailgate party and he's trying to be supportive. It's like, yeah, you bet, ask for it. Then you have the comedic interplay between the two.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. A1 doesn't necessarily hit me like that kind of company. I know their advertising has been sort of a little bit all over the place. They have had some comedic roles. They've had some comedic spots. They've had, plenty of serious spots. To me, this one just seems like, just a conversation piece.
Yeah, while sitting at a table eating.
Yeah. The scene that I picture, and this is just me, is two guys at a counter at a really, really good diner, and it's one of those things where they're complete strangers, but they have conversation with one another as if they've known each other their whole life, just because, that's the way it kind of goes. They've just come in off the road.
So they don't even. So you're saying like person two is just sitting there like,
just kind of agreeing.
Yeah.
I'm just totally whatever you say. I don't care who you voted for. I'm agreeing with you.
All right. So yeah, I'm gonna actually do my natural accent for the next week. So.
Yay!
But Texans don't put A1 on their burgers.
Well, in order to sell it, they'll probably actually go for a Texan accent. I'll tell you what.
All right. So, well, I know I got that that advertiser Imagine, so I got to stop that one. Anything else on mine?
Well, somewhat you can change up the Imagine is,
Imagine.
Be a little disappointed. No, just be a little disappointed. Imagine a great place like this without A1 on the table.
All right. All right, Joe, you ready?
Sure.
All right. No A1 for my hamburger. Miss, some A1, please. Imagine a great place like this without A1 on the table.
Yeah.
Nothing like it on hamburgers.
You bet.
After all, what's hamburger? It's chopped steak. And what's better on steak than A1? That's why I have it at home all the time.
So why didn't you ask for it?
Guess out of sight, out of mind. Miss, some A1, please.
Ask for it.
Miss, some A1, please.
What?
Am I missing a line?
No.
No, because he says ask for it, so then he's saying miss.
It's comedy by Dan.
That's good. My thing is when you say miss, some A1, please, you're saying it exactly the same way both times? Or you did that last read?
Yeah, you're talking to a waitress. You're not trying to be rude. You're not trying to be rude. You're going to ask them the same way a couple of times. Because if you...
Right, but I would change the intonation a little bit.
Okay.
Not you don't want to be rude. Or maybe you are being a little rude because like she's over there
maybe the second
talking
time
at the table,
chatting with the other waitress, and you
Honey, I'm gonna get you when I get you.
Yes,
I just got
A1, please.
Hold your horses, honey.
I'm on my break.
Damn it.
Well, first of all, one thing I got to say, Joe, you did a fantastic job on person two. I felt you hit it just right.
Oh, is that a better tone for you?
A much better tone.
Yes.
Yeah.
It just felt more natural. It just felt more real.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't anything too crazy. It was like, it just felt like two people talking, and that was absolutely perfect. That was the right intonation, at least in my opinion.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
So keep that up.
So I want to say something about person one. I just now noticed this because I was reading it the second time. It looks like he's just rambling for the first 3 lines, and then he actually hears the other guy say something.
Yeah.
About why didn't you ask for it?
Yeah, and that third line of person one down over there, like, after all, what's a hamburger? It's almost a little philosophical. You know,
After all, what's
what's
hamburger?
a hamburger but a chopped steak? And what's better on steak than A1?
Good seasoning.
I totally agree. Don't get me wrong, totally agree. Again, I don't care who you voted for, but yeah, that's I think what you need to do is put a little bit more emphasis on the steak in that part. It's like, after all, what's a hamburger? It's chopped steak. And what's better on steak than A1? That's why I have it at home all the time.
Where's my rubber band?
You know, you're like you're almost philosophizing a little bit right there.
Darn it.
But I love kind of the deadpan, like, okay, I love that, you know, so why didn't you ask for it?
Yeah.
You know, you're going all crazy about it. You're philosophizing about what a hamburger is, and now, you know, you want A1 on it. Why didn't you ask for it? I loved that. I would say, you know, for this next run, don't change your performance whatsoever, Joe. Do not do it. Just stick with what you did. It was perfect.
Okay.
All right. Let's see how this one works. You ready, Joe?
Yes, I have a secret thought in my head for this one.
Uh-oh. No A1 for my hamburger? Miss, some A1, please? Imagine a great place like this without A1 on the table.
Yeah,
Nothing like it on hamburgers.
you bet.
After all, what's hamburger? It's chopped steak. And what's better on steak than A1? That's why I have it at home all the time.
So why didn't you ask for it?
I guess out of sight, out of mind. Miss, some A1, please?
Ask for it.
I didn't do it again.
I don't know. I feel that that's written kind of awkwardly. Like, the person asks for it, you know, person one asks for it, then person two is like, ask for it. Come on.
Yeah.
Well, it's like Nathan said. It's almost like he breaks that barrier where at that point he would turn to the camera or something like that.
Yeah.
My secret
Not
thought was
People.
my secret thought was I was cleaning my revolver, and at the end I pointed at your head.
Ask for it. Stop talking to me.
That was good. That was good. You were almost like the dude sitting next to this person at the table, and they randomly turn to you and start talking. That was perfect. I love it.
The reason I think he said it is because he's not actually paying attention at all. None.
Yeah.
He's just talking.
Mhm.
He's just like, yeah, yeah, you bet, yeah. And then the philosophizing, he actually was like, come on, man. So why didn't you just ask for it?
No, again, I love that performance. I think it's perfect. Joe, you get 2 thumbs up from me this time around as well.
Yay.
Actually, this is a better performance all around.
That's Dan's character.
Yeah,
walks
I
out
agree.
and
It's the
says,
best.
The A1 abides.
Yeah.
A1 abides, yes. And I
So
like
why
the
didn't you
difference.
ask for it? Go ahead, Golda. Sorry.
I like the difference between the two Miss Some A1, please, and the much more rambly stream of consciousness in the after all, what's hamburger bit. I think that was really good.
So do you guys switch roles now?
Or do we move on?
Let's
So we're switching.
Let's
Doing the
switch.
switch.
Okay. No A1 for my hamburger? Miss, some A1, please? Imagine a great place like this without A1 on the table.
Yeah,
Nothing like it on hamburgers.
you bet.
After all, what's a hamburger? It's chopped steak. And what's better on steak than A1? You know, that's why I have it at home all the time.
So why don't you ask for it?
I guess out of sight, out of mind. Miss, some A1, please?
Ask for it.
I like that slide right there.
Hmm.
Slide.
Yeah, that slide
At
right
the end?
from one word to the next. Is it out of sight, out of my miss?
Oh, okay.
That was well done.
Yeah. Yeah, I liked how even the out of sight, out of mind was still him, you, I guess, in your mind, thinking about why they wouldn't have A1 and then trying to get them again, and not necessarily a response to person 2.
Yeah.
Really felt like the
Yeah, you're really trying to
Come
catch
here.
the waitress the second time.
Yeah.
Because you want your A1.
How's your horses there, honey? I'll be right there in a minute.
Yeah,
You're not the only customer I have, you know.
my only note for that performance was, and I still think that the person was a little too loud.
I
Now,
was kind of picturing a louder diner, so
Which person was too loud? Person 1, person 2?
person 1.
Okay.
Well, in both performances, person 1 I feel is it felt really, I don't know, it felt kind of odd. The person 1 was like almost really loud in comparison to person 2. You know, if this is sort of a more one-on-one kind of thing, I think it'd be a little bit more subdued. But again, it's just personal opinion there.
yeah.
Otherwise, great performances.
I was playing on my phone while I was trying to do those first 2 lines. To be disinterested.
He had that distracted sound. Yeah. I'm happy. Happy?
Do it again.
Yeah.
One more time.
Okay. No A1 for my hamburger. Miss, some A1, please. Imagine a great place like this without A1 on the table.
Yeah.
Nothing like on hamburgers. After all, what is a hamburger? It's chopped steak. And what's better on a steak than A1? Yeah, that's why I have it at home all the time.
So why don't you ask for it?
Guess out of sight, out of mind. Miss, some A1, please.
Ask for it. You know what I just noticed?
Uh-huh.
On all of the reads we've done tonight, it was why don't. We've all said why don't instead of why didn't.
Oh.
Why
Yeah.
didn't you ask for
Why
it?
didn't you ask for it? Why don't you ask for it? Yeah, why didn't you ask for it? Yeah. On that one, I was.
I just noticed I did it too. I was like, oh, whoops.
I was talking to myself all the way through, like not listening to you at all, and you're having a conversation with me.
And that's exactly what I was doing with you. So,
Yeah, I was doing it more in my head, so just to bring the volume down. If we wanted to match volume, then that makes a volume match. If we're both like just having a conversation to ourselves and we just happen to be sitting next to each other.
That actually made it work, though. It really
Mhm.
did. It
Yeah.
gave it the right tone.
Ah, good.
So kudos to
Spot
you both.
on.
Am I the only one that maybe thought that person 1, after all, what's hamburger? Almost sounded a little like introspective, like he was kind of reflecting and not talking to his buddy across the table.
Yeah,
Yes.
I was.
Yeah.
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 That time I was. The other time I was talking to the other guy, but the second time I was just in my own head,
All right.
not hearing him at all. It's just like me and the waitress and this guy's next to me talking.
Like everybody at restaurants these days staring at their phones.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
You're at the counter.
somebody knocking up there
on the
right back.
stool next to you.
He's posting about
Yeah.
not having any A1 on Facebook as we speak. This darn restaurant won't give me my A1 sauce.
Maybe if I send them a tweet, they'll bring it to me.
I think the next team should do this as where person 2 is a hand puppet.
Easy for you, difficult for me.
Well, guys, I have to step out. Somebody just
All
shut
right.
my door.
Fun.
I'll try to get back in a bit.
All right.
Bye.
See ya.
See ya.
All right. So I guess we're moving on.
Yes. Who is going to be our next
Moving on.
couple of actors in this scene?
Well, I'll step in.
Okay, Frank and
How about this guy?
oh,
I like that.
the cat wants to perform.
It's like a cat hand puppet, but different.
What? No way. When I'm a fish.
Yeah.
What's
He's
wrong
got a
with
lot
you?
stronger will. All right. Since I opened my mouth, I guess I'll go next.
Okay.
Okay. You want person one or person two?
Well, we're going to go back and forth. Doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
well, we'll switch it up.
Yeah,
Which
you
do you want
switch
first?
after the first performance.
All right.
But
All right. I'll be two first, I guess, Frank.
You'll be two? Okay. Sounds good, John. You ready?
Yep.
Okay. No A1 for my hamburger? Miss, some A1, please. Imagine a great place like this without A1 on the table.
Yeah.
Nothing like it on hamburgers.
You bet.
After all, I mean, what's hamburger? It's chopped steak, and what's better on steak than A1? That's why I have it at home all the time.
So why didn't you ask for it?
Oh, guess out of sight, out of mind. Miss, some A1, please.
Ask for it.
Yeah, they sounded more like buddies,
yeah,
like they knew
Yeah.
each other.
Mhm.
And that last line is just awkward.
It
That
is,
last-
it is.
That
It's
last
your
line should not
tagline.
be
I don't
there.
know. I'm lost on how to deliver it.
Yeah, I think it is supposed to be you turning to the camera, or if it's a radio spot, you're talking to the listener. Ask for it. You're telling a third person, ask for it. Don't be like this guy. You ask for it.
Or what it could be like a more power to you sort of line, like, yeah, ask for it,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
like the first time it sort of went over the waitress's head, the second time they go up, and maybe that's sort of like almost a concession by person two. It's like, yeah, come on, ask for it, I want some too.
I seem to recall seeing some of these commercials in the past where, I mean, this has got to be 10 years old at least, right?
Yeah, I think
Probably.
so.
I think I've seen it before where that's kind of their tagline. It's like, ask for it.
Mm-hmm.
It's separated from the conversation between the two buddies.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That's my two
Like
cents.
it's the end of the commercial and they just show the bottle. Ask for it.
Yeah, right. Cut away. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That makes more sense
Yeah.
because person one is asking twice. So person two would not be saying to his buddy, ask for it when he's already asking for it.
A second time.
My cat is pushing buttons. Sorry.
Aw.
All right, there we go. I
That's
think
the
I'm-
problem when they get opposable thumbs.
Yeah, he's he misses daddy today. Anyway, you want to go again or?
Yeah. What's the feedback on the read though? What did you guys think of that read? Was it okay, or any changes you want to see or hear or whichever?
I'd say on person two, John, do a little more breaking the fourth wall.
Okay, throughout.
Yeah, well, no, just on on that last line when you hit ask for it,
Okay,
just break away and do your best Ferris Bueller and break the fourth wall.
right. Look directly at the camera.
So
That's
Okay.
it.
Other than
I
that, you
think that's-
thought we were engaging well. It sounded natural.
oh yeah.
Kind of what you were
Yep.
expecting.
Any way you guys want me to change it up at all? Try reading it differently? Anything? Nothing? All right.
Just give it a go again.
Right.
No.
Silence is your answer.
You think of something different, Frank. It's your job.
Hey, there you go.
That's right.
No A1 for mein Hamburger? Miss, where is the A1, please?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. No A1 for my hamburger? Miss, some A1, please. Imagine a great place like this without A1 on the table.
Yeah.
Nothing like it on hamburgers.
You bet.
After all, what's hamburger? It's chopped steak. And what's better on steak than A1? That's why I have it at home all the time.
So why didn't you ask for it?
Guess out of sight, out of mind. Miss, some A1, please.
Ask for it. Ask for it. Ask for it.
Ask for it.
I thought
Again,
Ask for it.
with that sort of that line again, alternatively, something else you could do with it is like an affirmation, of the person asking for it. Like you're on their side. Like, yeah, ask.
like a yeah in front of it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I put a mental yeah right in
Yeah.
front of that.
Ask for it.
Ask for it.
Ask for it. Come
Okay.
on.
Yeah.
Ask for it.
And another thing I've heard a couple of times, we're saying ask for it instead of ask.
Ask for
And
it.
I asked is for it.
So,
Hey, check out my
I mean, I understand. I understand we want to be conversational, but we do want the cake. I mean, you can't hit it too hard, but you don't
Ask for it.
ask for it. Ask for it. Ask for it.
In other words, enunciate.
Yeah.
You need to enunciate it correctly. Yes. Don't totally drop the K, because then it totally changes the meaning.
Frank, I caught something you did on the first two A1s that you didn't do on the last two, which was on the first two, it was billboarded nicely, the actual A1 name, without leaving conversational mode. You had like just a hair of a pause before and after. And then on the subsequent ones, it kind of got run over.
Okay.
So I don't know if you should billboard it the whole way through, but it stood out to my ears on the first couple where it's like, oh, he's talking about A1. You know, it's a good pull for the product name.
Okay.
Yeah, but it was still a nice conversational tone.
Okay. Thank you.
Maybe not all 4 times, first, second, and fourth, but maybe in the middle of it.
Punch it on the last, yeah.
Okay. You know what might also work too is just like, if you go something, I don't know, I guess out of sight, out of mind. Miss, some A1, please. Like, like you're emphasizing it at that point.
Yeah, what you want. Maybe every time you ask her for it, she brings you like ketchup and mustard. Worcestershire sauce. It's like, no, A1, that's what.
Listen, you dumbass Fort. I asked for A1.
You don't like no Heinz ketchup?
I liked Heinz 56 till they changed it.
Well, y'all got it.
Great. Do you want to do it again, or are we going to just switch our roles now? What would you like to do?
Yeah, switch roles.
All right. No A1 for my hamburger? Miss, some A1, please. Imagine a great place like this without A1 on the table.
Yeah.
Nothing like it on hamburgers.
You bet.
After all, what's a hamburger? It's chopped steak. What's better than A1? That's why I have it at home all the time.
So why didn't you ask for it?
Guess out of sight, out of mind. Miss, some A1, please.
Ask for it.
I like that tag there. It's best.
Yeah, it was a good tag.
Yeah.
A very taggy tag.
Very taggy tag.
Anybody notice I added at least one word there?
Yeah,
and you dropped a word too. You didn't say
Well,
what's better than on steak.
Yeah, you dropped the
said
steak.
what's better than A1.
Yeah. What?
Well, I mean that's sort of the subtext, but you don't want to punch the sales that hard.
What's better on steak than A1?
All right, I'll try to read all the words next time.
Yeah, one note of advice, please try to stick to the script. We have it written for a specific reason. We don't want it changed all that much, please.
You never want to hear that.
Yeah, normally they're going to be a little bit more tactful about it, especially if you did the rest of it all right. They'll be like, you missed a word right here. You changed up an entire sentence over there. I don't know why you skipped that paragraph, but that one needs to be included.
We'll call you.
Somehow you made it sound like you're advertising for our competitor now. So if we can avoid that, that would be great.
All right. Ready whenever you are.
Go for it.
No A1 for my hamburger? Miss, some A1, please? Imagine a great place like this without A1 on the table.
Yeah.
Nothing like it on hamburgers.
You bet.
After all, what's hamburger? It's chopped steak. And what's better on steak than A1? That's why I have it at home all the time.
So why didn't you ask for it?
Guess out of sight, out of mind. Miss, some A1, please.
Ask for it.
Ask for it.
Ask for it.
Kind of a commanding tone in that one.
Yeah.
Well, I kind of imagine like ask for it. Go for it. Do it.
You ever notice they don't really leave it on the table? You kind of do have to ask for it.
Let's see.
So
That is true.
anyway,
when you said that's why I have it at home all the time.
no reason for the emphasis there, huh?
Yeah, you're trying to change the intonation, which is good, but I think it just went too high and sounded a little commercially to me.
Yeah, just needs to be matter of fact there.
Well, I mean, yeah,
That's
the
why I have
operative.
it at home all the time.
Well, not even that. That's why I have it at home all the time. Because you made the point beforehand. That sentence, that is referencing what the point that was being made beforehand. Actually, John, that was what I was going to say earlier also, is that third line of person one really came off really salesy. Like disingenuous. Like the whole flow of that line is, you're making a point, you're sort of waxing philosophical right over there. After all, what's a hamburger? It's a chopped steak. And what's better on steak than A1? That's why I have it at home all the time. See what I mean? You're referencing what you were saying before. Of course, like I said before, stay away from pronouns too. That's why I have it at home all the time. You definitely don't want to go into that. But yeah, the operative word in that sentence there is that. That's why I have it at home all the time. Like, that's why I always eat it with my hamburgers.
Okay. So
Subtext
all the time, is the...
Yeah. I mean, do you see why that is?
Yeah. No, it completely changed the meaning of that whole...
Yeah, the whole point is you're you're trying to build up some sort of almost obscure evidence as to why it's a travesty why you didn't get any A1 steak sauce with your hamburger. It's like, come on. So your sort of loosely fit together train of thought is put before then. After all, what's a hamburger? It's chopped steak, and what's better on steak than A1? Reference that. That's why I have it all the time. That's why I have it at home all the time.
Come on.
Yeah.
Okay. That's
But,
kind of a different take, a different interpretation, but I like it.
Yeah, and also don't put so many pauses, or so long a pause in between sentences. Did anybody else notice that person 1, line 3 came off kind of stilted and slow?
I did as I was reading it.
Yeah. Yeah, you're moving through to try to make your point. So it's like, all right, here's point A. Yeah, it leads to point B. All right, it leads to point C. That's why I have it at home all the time.
It does need to flow straight through.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, one more time.
All right, John. Anytime.
There you go.
No A1 for my hamburger? Miss, some A1, please. Imagine a great place like this without A1 on the table.
Yeah.
Nothing like it on hamburgers.
You bet.
After all, what's hamburger? It's chopped steak. And that's what's better on steak than A1? That's why I have it at home all the time.
So why didn't you ask for it?
Guess out of sight, out of mind. Miss, some A1, please.
Ask for it.
That line. When we have all this recorded with everybody, you just have to take everybody's ask for it and just make a whole line of them.
Just
right there.
Ask for it.
And you should end off with that one. Ask for it. If it is going to be a tagline, I would say give yourself some space in between the last line and then that one.
We'll fix it in post.
But I would say, give yourself some space in there, separate the lines a bit more. But if you're sort of being like, yeah, come on, ask for it. If you're trying to back your buddy up on this, then I would say don't hit it quite as hard. Yeah, ask for it. Come on, man.
You know what else you could do with person number 2? I'm just sitting here, I'm thinking about it. You can start off okay, so person 1 reads the first line, whoever does it next and they want to try it. And person 2, when they start off and they go, yeah, they're just completely disengaged. They're just out of reaction, but as they go along, they become more engaged because they're listening to what the guy says and they're starting to get into it.
Mhm.
So person 2 starts to actually build through the script and becomes more engaged in the thoughts of what the person 1 is saying.
Yeah, that's sort of how I read it, because otherwise so why didn't you ask for it that he says
Like at that
doesn't make
point,
any
you're
sense,
actually,
because he did.
at that point, you're kind of actually interested in what this guy is talking about. It starts off with, nothing like it on hamburgers. Yeah, you bet. And then as he's talking, you're starting to actually, so why didn't you ask for it? Like you want to follow along and see what's going to happen next.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but you definitely want to be careful of how far you ramp up the energy.
Well, no. I'm not suggesting
it could be funny. I mean, you could get to the point where, like, with the ask for it, you're just like pounding on the table and standing up and screaming at the top of your lungs.
Ask for it.
Like I'm just, like I said, I'm with like the first line, the guy's like eating, he's like, yeah, and then as the other guy's talking, it's like, you bet, and then by the time he gets to that line, he's actually put his fork down and he's actually paying attention to the guy and listening to him. I don't know. It's just
you could do it that way. You absolutely could.
Absolutely. Hello, Richard.
Welcome.
Don't have my headset on.
We can still hear you. Well, anyway, why don't you guys give it one more go? And go ahead and try the ramp up.
Ramp up.
Okay.
No A1 from my hamburger? Miss, some A1, please. Imagine a great place like this without A1 on the table.
Yeah.
Nothing like it on hamburgers.
Yeah, you bet.
After all, what's hamburger? It's chopped steak. And what's better on steak than A1? That's why I have it at home all the time.
So why didn't you ask for it?
Guess out of mind. Guess out of sight, out of mind. Miss, some A1, please.
Ask for it.
All right. What did everybody think?
This
I
has a
think-
pretty good flow to it. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, that's all right. I was just going to say John flowed more smoothly through all his lines, which was good.
Mm-hmm. I mean, just be careful with the whole out of sight, out of mind thing. But otherwise,
Yeah, it doesn't
Fantastic
make sense the other
job.
way.
out of mind, out of sight. I mean, it could work in some situations, but you have to be really, really specific.
Out of mind, out of sight. I don't see it.
Actually, literally, I think that's part of what my problem is. These classes are just not working correctly anymore.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
Been there. Boy.
Yeah, I need some
I've
new
actually
ones.
got my optometrist is actually making me a new pair right now, specifically for use on the computer.
Nice.
Because I've got the progressives, and I can never seem to find the proper sweet spot, so that after just not too long, my eyes get really tired and sore sitting on the computer. So I actually measured the distance where I sit to the computer screen, and he's making me a pair of glasses that I'll use just strictly for being on the computer. So I've got the optimal
Right.
correction.
Absolutely. The last pair I
Nice.
had were not done that way, and they are useless.
They managed to get these precision. I don't know how, but they did. Anyway, back to VO.
Yes.
Oh, what are we doing here again? Anyway,
Next.
it's taking up plenty of time.
I
Thank
think we're moving on.
Yes.
We're choosing some new people.
Thanks, John.
Fantastic job, guys.
I'll go up next.
yay.
Okay.
Okay. Can I go? I'm going to go
Yeah.
with Michael.
All right. So which one do you want? Person one or person two?
I'll be person 2 first.
Okay. No A1 for my hamburger. Miss, some A1, please? Imagine, a great place like this without A1 on the table.
Yeah,
Nothing like it on hamburgers.
you bet.
After all, what's a hamburger? It's chopped steak. And what's better on steak than A1? That's why I have it at home all the time.
So why didn't you ask for it?
Guess out of sight, out of mind. Miss, some A1, please?
Ask for it.
Ooh, I like the ask for it.
She nailed that tagline.
Yes, I like that tag.
Thank you.
That was really good.
So,
There was attitude in there. I like that.
So, Frank, you would understand this from a radio perspective. You invite the listener. You have the listener at the table with you.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that tagline is inviting the viewer or the listener.
Well, and again, you're
Into the
breaking that you're
conversation.
breaking that barrier where you're having the conversation, and all of a sudden, at that point, it's like you said. If it was a TV spot, you're turning to the camera, and you're maybe even holding up a bottle of A1 that just arrived at the table, and you're going, "Ask for it," you know.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I can imagine the scene going on. It's like, who are you turning to with that bottle?
I actually did a radio spot like that where I had the other character after
Who
one
are
of the
you
characters
talking
breaks the
to?
fourth wall. He says, "Who are you talking to?"
Yeah.
The producer loved it.
It's like, it's just in case I'm part of the Truman Show or something.
yeah.
It really was. It was just like, it's like, okay, he broke the fourth wall, so I'm just gonna have the second character just like, right, who you talking to?
What's going on here? All right. Any other notes on the performance? Anything?
That person, the third person one line, the whole thing there about hamburgers, chopstick. To me, it sounded a little salesman-y.
Okay.
It sounded a little lilty, a little salesman-y in there.
Yeah,
You
for
almost
whatever
lost
reason.
you almost lost that philosophical sound that you started with, and you went more into sales at that point.
Yeah, for whatever reason, I suddenly got really nervous at that line. I don't know why. So it totally threw me off.
But other than that,
All right.
Okay, well, let's do it from the top one more time.
Okie dokie.
No A1 for my hamburger? Miss, some A1, please? Imagine, a great place like this without A1 on the table.
Yeah.
Nothing like it on hamburgers.
Oh, you bet.
After all, what's a hamburger? It's chopped steak. And what's better? After all, what's a hamburger? It's chopped steak. And what's better on steak than A1? That's why I have it at home all the time.
So why didn't you ask for it?
Guess out of sight, out of mind. Miss, some A1, please?
Ask for it.
Oh, that's a good way to do it too.
Fantastic.
Better third line there, Michael. Definitely.
Thank you.
And I like the last two lines the way you did it. You did it a little differently here, Sherry.
Thank you. I was thinking it's kind of like a couple out to dinner, and the wife's like, "Here he goes again about the A1."
Well, see, and that's not to make it sound the wrong way. So please don't anybody take it this way. But that's why it has a whole new dynamic when you've got a male and a female doing it back and forth, as opposed to two guys. Not saying two guys can't be a couple out for an evening, but what I'm saying is it just naturally lends itself somehow, in my opinion, to having that different dynamic when you've got a guy and a girl doing this, as opposed to two buddies.
I would agree with that assessment. That makes more sense.
Yeah, I thought Michael's read toward the end, it became a lot more conversational with talking to, hey, you're right. You know what? I'm going to have some of that. I'm going to ask for it. And I thought it came across a lot better toward the end.
I don't know why I'm stumbling over that third line. Here I was talking about it this whole time, and now I just,
It got up in your head.
Yeah, it did. It did. It definitely got into my head.
Your analytical brain saying, "Move over, actor."
You guys could even try it one more time with the same lines, each of you, but Sherry, play it up even more to that thought that we were saying about, like you mentioned, about husband and wife.
Okay.
It's the wife, like almost giving him a smack on the back of the head, like, yeah, you yuts, why aren't you asking for it? Come on.
Roll of the eyes. Oh, God.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it almost like I can almost hear the. Gee, here we go again. Right after that first question of the third person one line.
Okay.
You know what I mean? After all, what's a hamburger? Oh, here we go again.
Getting on his soapbox again. Every time we go to a barbecue, nobody has A1. I got to listen to the same speech over and over.
All right. And only one for my hamburger. Miss, some A1, please. Imagine a great place like this without A1 on the table.
Yes, dear.
Nothing like it on hamburgers.
Oh, you bet.
After all, what's a hamburger? It's chopped steak. And what's better on steak than A1? That's why I have it at home all the time.
So why didn't you ask for it?
Guess out of sight, out of mind. Miss, some A1, please.
Ask for it.
See, I like that.
That was great. That one right there would have been boom. You got the gig.
That's the money.
That's the way we want it. We're gonna air that thing for 10 months straight.
Yay!
So
good job, Michael.
When you threw in the yes, dear, and all that kind of stuff, it just
Union rates.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, it breathed a brand new life into this piece of copy. I mean, when he's surprised A1 hears it, hey, we need to do that spot again with those two.
Oh, please.
Sure.
All right, Sherry, so shall we switch?
Yes, let's switch. Okay. No A1 for my hamburger. Miss, some A1, please. Imagine a great place like this without A1 on the table.
Yeah,
Nothing like it on hamburgers.
you bet.
After all, what's a hamburger? It's chopped steak. And what's better on steak than A1? That's why I had it home all the time.
So why didn't you ask for it?
Guess out of sight, out of mind. Miss, some A1, please.
Ask for it. I didn't feel quite right on the task for it. I don't know. What did everybody else think?
Sounded okay.
It kind of sounded like he dropped energy on it a little bit. Just a little on the ask for it. He may have. I think Michael caught himself dropping energy.
Jerry had a completely different take on it. I mean, she really sounded annoyed.
I agree with you, John. It was different, different sort of inflection to it and that, but it works still.
Yeah, and Michael's interpretation is just kind of like, I don't know what, kind of discovering and half talking to himself when he first said no A1 for my hamburger. Like he said that to himself, asked for the A1, and then started the rest of the conversation back and forth. Anyway, for what it's worth, but good interpretation, I think, Sherry.
Oh, thank you. I think the copy lends itself to that with that first line that says, imagine a great place like this. So I'm at a great burger place. I have my expectations. You can't have a great burger without your A1 sauce, and it's ridiculous that I don't have it on the table.
Right.
Somebody is gonna pay.
So what does everybody think? Another round, or is that good?
I'd say go through it again. I would like to see that dynamic that you guys did the first time.
Yeah, I think you with your ask for it, Michael, you kind of lost the couple aspect and you went announcery, or that's how it sounded to me.
Yeah, that's kind of how it felt to me.
I'd say sans the accent, but do it somewhat Faulty Towers style. You know, Michael's like henpecked husband. I'm doing it.
Exactly. I was just thinking that, Nathan.
Yes.
Henpecked husband.
Ask for it.
Yeah.
You know, just right down to the bone, just like, yes, pet, whatever you say, pet. What's that old character they used to have on the Yogi Bear, the little guy with the big giant mustache?
God, the one that all blank.
Yes, pet. Yes, my love. Okay, my precious, whatever you say.
Is that kind of what you want me to do?
Well, something in that style.
Well, something. Think in terms of ask for it, like keep her happy.
Yeah. Like, I don't want to create an argument here, please, because we have to go home together. So, but you know, maybe my love.
Be happy. Don't you don't want to be annoyed. You want to be happy.
Okay.
Oh, Kevin's got a guest.
Okay. Are we ready?
Ready when you are.
No A1 for my hamburger. Miss, some A1, please. Imagine a great place like this without A1 on the table.
Yeah,
Nothing like it on hamburgers.
you bet.
After all, what's hamburger? It's chopped steak. And what's better on steak than A1? That's why I have it at home all the time.
So why don't you ask for it?
Guess out of sight, out of mind. Miss, some A1, please.
Ask for it.
I did not hear. I didn't hear the henpecked John Cleese style character.
Try thinking to yourself, Michael, dude, you better ask for it.
I shall never hear the end of this if I don't ask for it.
Maybe along
Can you
the
give a little
lines.
example of how you're thinking, like specifically deliver the line how you're thinking. Just so I know
was just
exactly what you.
What I was listening to was maybe especially in this instance where she's the main thing is thinking, hey, babe, how long are we gonna have to listen to her go on and on? Just ask for it already. Something along that line. I don't know.
I like that.
Okay.
You want Miracle Max on the other side.
Ask for it. Okay. One thing though that I did notice, Sherry, is you're on the first line when you hit imagine, it really sounded salesy.
Yeah,
Did anybody else hear that?
Yeah, that first line this
Imagine
time
a
around
great
was a little
place like this without A1 on the table. You're complaining about it. Imagine a great place like this without A1 on the table.
You could even eliminate the comma and just do that right all the way
Imagine
through.
a great place like this without A1 on the table.
Yeah, exactly. You don't even have to put that pause there.
Yep.
Or even, you know what else you could even do? You could even slow it down a little. Like you can go, imagine a great place like this without A1 on the table. You know, like you're just like, huh? What?
This is ridiculous. I mean, that's the tone, not your critique.
I could have stopped there for a second. And
What? Hey, wait a minute. We're all sensitive actors here.
What
Why
the hell do you think you are, lady?
Oh my God.
It's a couple of compliments and all of a sudden, boom.
Somebody's getting personal.
No, that's the tone. Okay. Are you ready, Michael?
I am ready.
Are you ready? Okay. No A1 for my hamburger. Miss, some A1, please. Imagine a great place like this without A1 on the table.
Yeah,
Nothing like it on hamburgers.
you bet.
After all, what's hamburger? It's chopped steak. And what's better on steak than A1? That's why I have it at home all the time.
So why didn't you ask for it?
Guess out of sight, out of mind. Miss, some A1, please.
Ask for it.
I like that one. That's
That
cool.
was awesome.
Just that exasperated, like, I don't know what else to do here.
Oh,
Ask for it.
that was awesome.
I'm going to get up and crawl onto my hands and knees in the kitchen to get it for you. My God, we need to get this stuff here.
Oh man. Let's let this not get too far past the mic check, but I was just recalling some personal experiences along the very same line. We'll just end it off with that.
Yeah, you just sounded so like exasperated at that point. Love of God, woman, ask.
Oh.
What's said in the booth stays in the booth. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, within these four walls, whatever happens, never to go outside. We'll just leave it all here.
Let me try
That was
time
perfect.
here. I have to try to remember to trim this out in post.
Only being married 42 years, that sounds really familiar. I don't know what.
The feel that I sort of got was like neutral to annoyed. That was what I was going for this time. I was like, well, you bet. So why didn't you ask for it?
It's got this slow build. We're out in a public place and everything's cooking along just fine, and then she gets upset. Yeah. The next
And
thing
now we have to make a scene.
Yes, dear. Whatever, dear. I'm moving the thing now, dear. I just keep picturing John Cleese. I just do.
Well, maybe you could use that for your performance.
Ah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
I keep picturing that exasperated look on your face.
I think that was good. High five again.
High five. Internet
Great
5.
job, guys.
Internet 5.
All right. Well, shall we move on then?
Let's shall.
Okay. So who's volunteering to go next?
I will.
I would if I had the script. I don't know how you get it, folks. I'm sorry. I'm new to the group. I apologize.
No worries.
The
No worries.
link in the chat. Here, I'll repaste it for you.
Do you see in the chat? I don't know how the Zoom looks on your screen, Richard, but on my screen, it's on the right-hand side.
It's on the right-hand side when I open up the chat, and then I've got a link, and I just click on the link to get.
You just click on the link, and it takes you right there.
It'll take it right to the copy.
And it's not letting me do that.
Oh.
Let's see.
Yeah, it's not letting me. Yeah, when I click on your link, it's not taking me to it, so I don't know the reason for that.
Is it opening? Maybe it's opening up another page or another link somewhere else.
There you go. Can you see it there? Somebody listed it in there. Can you see that, Richard, in the chat now? Joe just.
There we go. Yes.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Okay.
My monitor, I can see it here. All right. So what are we doing? Who are we going with?
So you two are choosing between yourselves.
Goldie.
Yeah, so you two are choosing between yourselves which one of you wants to be person 1 and which wants to be person 2.
Okay. I'll start with person 1.
Okay. I'll be person 2.
All righty. No A1 for my hamburger? Oh, man. Miss some A1, please. Oh, imagine a great place like this without A1 on the table.
Yeah.
Nothing like it on hamburgers.
You bet.
After all, what's hamburger? It's just chopped steak. And what's better on steak than A1? Why, that's why I have it at home on many Christmas. Hello, yes, progressives, here we go. And let's see, but after all, what's hamburger? It's just chopped steak. And what's better on steak than A1? That's why I have it at home all the time.
So why didn't you ask for it?
Guess out of sight, out of mind. I don't know. Miss, some A1, please.
Ask for it.
You know, after that performance, I could see this as being like two really old people at a restaurant. Like, you know what I mean? How sometimes when you have like a real when you're eating with older people, they have this really interesting and unique sort of really expressive way of explaining things and saying things, and I would love to hear that from both parts out of this.
Okay.
It's almost, you get to the point of you're saying things, but you're not listening to the other party. It's almost like a one-way conversation, I hate to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Two one-way conversations.
Yeah, there you go. All right.
Well, there you go. That's the way you should do it. 2 one-way conversations.
Nobody's listening, but we're talking.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yep.
Okay, some more life experiences. Let's see what we can do here. No A1 on my hamburger. Miss A1, please. Oh, imagine a great place like this without A1 on the table.
Yeah.
Oh, nothing like it on hamburgers.
You bet.
After all, what's a hamburger? It's just chopped steak. And what's better on steak than A1? That's why I have it at home all the time.
So why didn't you ask for it?
Oh, I guess out of sight, out of mind. Oh, miss, some A1, please.
Ask for it.
Oh, I love it.
That was
I love it.
fantastic.
I love how Goldie says, so why didn't you ask for it?
And he's just like, yeah, I heard you. And
Dear,
just-
this happens every time we come to this hamburger joint.
There was a little tiny hint.
Why is this a surprise?
This Yiddish mother thing? Well, so why didn't you ask for it? You
As
don't
a-
ever ask, you don't get what you want. I'm telling you.
Yeah, he actually brought up a very specific couple from a joke where they're going to town once a year to have a good meal, and the guy's eating his steak and the woman's just sitting there, and the waiter comes by and goes, "Everything okay?" Yeah. How about your steak, ma'am? She says, "It looks fine. Is there a reason you're not eating?" "I'm waiting for Pa to finish with the choppers." The one pair of teeth.
Oh, my turn's coming up.
Oh,
Yes, I have a hole in my face. It's going to get filled soon.
Oh.
Nothing like breaking a tooth.
I liked it. The
That's
banter
planned.
between the two was really good. The back and forth.
Mhm.
All right.
I agree.
Any suggestions? It's what it
You know,
did
the
sound
only
like
thing is
two
I
one-way
wouldn't-
conversations.
Yeah, I wouldn't put just in after it's when you, because you say it's just chopped steak. You're emphasizing the fact that you want A1 because you're putting it on steak, and you're sort of
Gotcha.
You're
You're
justifying.
elevating hamburger. to
you're,
a
you're,
high
you're elevating
height.
hamburger, and when you put the just in there, it like kind of puts it down a little bit, like, it's just, so maybe just don't put that in there.
I didn't even realize I added it. Okay. Nope. I see what you're saying. It,
Every time the 2 times you've done the script, both times you put
have I really?
yeah.
Okie dokie. Yeah. No, it's it's not just chopped steak. It's chopped steak, which is great stuff. So why shouldn't we have A1 on it? I got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then Goldie, with your end, the way you say ask for it, it sounded similar, very similar to me both times.
Okay.
And try, what else can you do with that
Let's-
tag?
Okay. Want to do it the same way again then? And then we'll
Sure.
switch?
With the same rules? Yeah.
All right. Here
All
we
right.
go. We'll give this a try. No A1 for my hamburger? Miss some A1, please. Oh, imagine a great place like this with A1 on the table.
Yeah,
Nothing like it on hamburgers, huh?
you bet.
After all, what's hamburger? It's chopped steak. And what's better on steak than A1? That's why I have it at home all the time.
So why didn't you ask for it?
Oh, gets out of sight, out of mind. Oh, miss, some A1, please.
Ask for it.
Fantastic with the old curmudgeon.
Yes. I love the grumbling.
Those darn kids won't stay off my yard.
Oh, I love how you deliver, Richard, the gets out of sight, out of mind. Like, oh. So
Just
good.
wasn't thinking about it, even though I'm gritching about it. I just wasn't thinking about it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what would you like to do now, Golda?
I guess I'll do person one.
Rocky
Time
dokies.
to swap
Rocky
roles.
Swap them.
No A1 for my hamburger? Miss, some A1, please. Imagine a great place like this without A1 on the table.
Yeah,
Nothing like it on hamburgers.
you bet.
After all, what is hamburger? It's chopped steak. And what's better on steak than A1? That's why I have it at home all the time.
So why didn't you ask for it?
I guess out of sight, out of mind. Miss, some A1, please.
Ask for it.
Yeah, that was good.
I like it.
Mm-hmm. I think when we have that silence like that, we're all just really, really trying.
Yeah,
to
we're
find
just
something wrong with
drinking it in.
We can't find anything wrong. So
It was so bad you really don't all want to say it at the same time?
no.
No,
that
it was just very, very good. That's what
Yes.
it was.
That was
It
very
was really good. Sometimes we do need to take just a moment to sort of process things through just a bit, but
Mhm.
that was all. That was all really good.
Mhm.
Very good, Golda.
fantastic.
Yeah, I thought
I know
Somebody
for some
said
reason.
You know,
something-
if I'm gonna pick one thing, when you go back and you watch that or listen to it, Golda,
Mhm.
you said imagine a great place like this with A1 on the table. You left out the out.
Oh,
Bye.
Yeah,
whoops.
said with A1 on the table.
Ah,
Yeah, almost like, geez, it's offensive that they're trying to give me some good steak sauce
That's-
here for my
That's
hamburger. Come
because
on.
A1's so good, you could eat a table if you put it on.
Imagine a great place like this with A1 on the table next to a rat.
imagine if I had it on the table, it would be so delicious.
You could eat the tablecloth.
Golda, you want to do it one more time with so you can have two
Without
reads
the
on
A1
that?
on the table.
Let's not have it on the table this time.
Okay. No A1 for my hamburger? Miss, some A1, please. Imagine a great place like this without A1 on the table?
Yeah,
Nothing like it on hamburgers.
you bet.
After all, what is hamburger? It's chopped steak. And what's better on steak than A1? That's why I have it at home all the time.
So why didn't you ask for it?
Guess out of sight, out of mind. Miss, some A1, please.
Ask for it.
Yay!
All
So good.
Ah, you guys are way too kind. We appreciate it. We'll take a bow now. Thank you.
No, it's just you
High five.
got this all curmudgeonly married couple down to a
Mhm.
perfect.
Yeah,
Mhm.
great performance.
Like I said, way too much life experience.
What's really great is I don't know if Richard and Golda have ever met, but it's great when two people can act that well that if you've
Mhm.
never met one another at all, they can play off of each other that good. You know?
Yes, they have that great chemistry. They have that great
Definite high five,
connection.
internet high
Yep.
five. There we go.
Yep. Give each other a high five.
Great job,
Absolutely.
dear.
No, that was
It's so nice
absolutely fantastic. Absolutely.
Working with somebody else instead of talking to just me in my box is the way.
Yes.
Be in your box tonight? Yes, dear. I'm going to go work in the box.
I'm going to be in the
Yes.
box tonight.
Yep.
Oh, sweet. Thanks for the compliments, folks.
Well, you earned it. You did an absolutely
Yeah.
fantastic
You did
job.
a great job.
And, you know, last up, I have myself and Kevin, who has just now returned. He lost
Yay.
his connection for a moment.
Welcome back, Kevin.
We can hear you.
Hello.
Does the video interfere with your connection because you could turn the video off?
No, my computer decided to install a driver and
Oh no.
booted on me.
Yes.
Oh,
Now I'm on my phone.
okay.
And,
Okay.
The joys of
Oh,
Windows.
but anyway.
Ugh. No, we don't want installations in the middle of sessions or editing.
No.
Any other time for that matter. Just leave me alone, Windows.
Yeah, but you click cancel long enough and it'll just do it anyways, regardless of what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On the new versions, you can't click cancel. And well, this is why I like having my custom built Linux system for Zoom recording because I have control. It doesn't control me. That way, when I have a session, my session gets done instead of driver install.
Oh, I've been working on trying to figure out how to get this one to have enough software. I did some springboards for accents for this, but I'm thinking this may be my new computer.
Okay.
Awesome.
Chromebooks can be a little bit difficult to work with at times.
Yeah,
especially
we're
when
gonna
it comes to audio editing. So, I mean,
Yeah.
hope you can find something that works out well for it.
Yeah, you can
I may
dual
end up
boot.
editing over here on the big box, but
Yeah, yeah.
we'll see. This
You can
has
dual boot
far less
a-
fan noise though.
You can dual boot a Linux distro on it. and
Yeah, I saw that.
I recommend Linux Mint because
Mint,
that's what I'm
okay.
using for the studio in here.
Uh-huh.
And, I have it on my laptop. I have it on my recording machine,
Mhm.
and I actually use it in my office at the TV station for my
Cool.
office computer and my file transfer computer, and they work beautifully. I mean, I have stuff that runs 24/7 and barely ever gets rebooted, and it works so darn well no matter what. So.
I will talk with you after this.
All right.
It's
Well,
just
Kevin,
everybody needs to know how to do that on.
Kevin, are you ready to perform? Do you have the script? Have you read it over a little bit?
No, I haven't got the script. No.
Okay. We'll try to get it back to you.
Oh no, I've got it here still.
Okay.
I've got my desktop computer, but I had no camera or microphone on it. So I'm actually joining you from my iPhone.
But reading the copy from something bigger, so that's good.
Oh, definitely. And my laptop is almost finally rebooted now.
Yeah, I do all of my editing and recording and stuff like that on a Mac, so I don't really have to worry about that too much, thankfully.
Yeah.
But no, personal, I use PC, but that's totally different from what we're doing right now. We're doing VO. All right.
Yeah.
So whenever you two are ready,
Oh, who am I joining?
you are
Nathan.
Kevin. You and Nathan are going to be performing together.
All righty.
You guys can fight over who wants to be person one or person two to start with.
Does he really want to fight?
I am a pacifist. I do not want to fight. I don't want any violence in here.
All right. So then, who wants to do which part?
Nathan, you're the vet. You choose.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'm going to let you take person one, and I'll take person
All right.
two, and then we'll flip it around.
All right, let's see. Hopefully, I don't do my best customer service voice in this one. Oh, hopefully, I've lost that. All right. No A1 for my hamburger? Miss, some A1, please. Imagine a great place like this without A1 on the table.
Yeah,
Nothing like it on hamburgers.
you bet.
After all, what's hamburger? It's chopped steak. And what's better than steak? Ah. And what's better on steak than A1? That's why I have it at home all the time.
So why didn't you ask for it?
Guess out of sight, out of mind. Miss, some A1, please.
Ask for it.
Hey.
Yeah, I am impressed. That was really
Yeah.
fantastically well done.
Mhm.
It was
Nice.
really, really good on both parts.
Yeah, your
Hey.
recovery was really smooth and nice tag, Nathan.
Awesome.
Yeah, Kevin, that was a really, really, really real read, if that makes any sense. It was really down to earth. You know, it felt like just a person talking about, like, you know, being annoyed about having steak. That's perfect.
Cool.
I don't know. I don't have any notes on your performance whatsoever. Nathan, you did a great job too. You played off of him really well. I don't have any notes on my performance either. So you know what?
Job, Kevin.
Great job all around.
Hey, nice job, Kevin. You've been doing your homework. Good job.
I've been trying.
Well, it turned out fantastic. Why don't you guys go ahead and switch roles?
Okay. What? No A1 for my hamburger? Miss, some A1, please. Imagine a great place like this without A1 on the table.
Yeah,
Nothing like it on hamburgers.
you bet.
After all, what's a hamburger? It's chopped steak. And what's better on steak than A1? That's why I have it at home all the time.
So why didn't you ask for it?
Guess out of sight, out of mind. Miss, some A1, please.
Ask for it.
Nice.
I like the tag.
Yeah, just nice and
Yeah,
understated and just
Mhm.
straightforward. Just
Yeah.
you know.
Also, the accents were absolutely perfect.
Yes.
Well, we do live in Tennessee, so
Yeah.
Oh, that's absolutely perfect.
We're practically neighbors. He's up there near Bristol, and I'm down here. So,
No, but seriously though, that was fantastic. I love the characters you got played. I loved how it felt like a disjointed conversation until at the very end. It's sort of like person one's actually caring about this whole thing. Person two's just worried about their food, whatever.
Yeah.
Until at the very end, well, why didn't you ask for it? It's like, come on.
I love how Nathan delivered that too. It's like, well, dummy.
No, honestly, that is a fantastic job. Again,
Yep.
I don't have anything to say.
I actually played into one of my characters that I keep in the barn up here. So it's just...
Very cool.
See, that's how we know you live in a rural place. Keep it in the barn.
Yeah, I keep it in the
Most
barn.
other people keep it up in the attic.
I've got
Yeah,
a
well, I
barn
gotta
over
build
here.
that barn myself.
Well, considering I've actually started to list animal noises as things that I can do.
I liked your dogs the other
Yes.
Oh, cool. Thank you.
Lots of dogs.
day. My dog looked and was like, "What was that?"
I was sitting there thinking, okay, Lord, I've got to get some stuff going here, and I have all these animal noises and things that I've done or I'm capable of doing, but I've never recorded it, or at least officially recorded it. I've done it for other things. So I thought, well, why don't I start with the dogs? So I did this like various dogs. I ended it out with one of those sloppy bulldogs.
I want to hear him ordering steak A1.
Not Scooby-Doo.
We actually had a mic check once a long time ago where everybody was given a scene and an animal to do it as. You were supposed to communicate the little parts of the scene through all the animal noises that you were making.
I love it.
We might have to revive that at some point.
That's awesome.
Definitely.
Yeah, it was improv acting. It was just
Sure.
improv practice. So
you could do like a bulldog and a chihuahua with this or something.
I like the bulldog. The bulldog would be drooling over his A1.
yeah, well, it was something like I remember. There was only one situation, only one of the scenes that I remember right off the top of my head, and it was. The character was a cat, and the situation was the person was asking out the person they liked on a date, and they get rejected.
The cat gets rejected?
The cat gets rejected. So you had to communicate like that whole sort of feel with just those noises.
You have cats?
Something that I found that was really interesting in that, actually, and I don't know if this is really going to be, well, I mean, it could be, is a lot of people really took their time with the scenes. They sort of drew out all of the noises and all of everything like that. And then we had one performance, I remember, which moved through each of the little bits really quickly, and it was much easier to follow. So, I don't know. Maybe that's something to consider if you are improving something, or if you do have to move through a scene. A little quicker might not be a bad thing.
Mm-mm.
Again, it's always easier to bring your energy down than it is to have to push it up.
Mm-hmm.
So if you do it a little quicker, a little bit higher energy, it's much easier to be able to do it slightly slower and a little bit lower energy.
Mm-hmm.
True.
So, shoot for the moon.
To the moon and
To
beyond.
the moon.
What we doing, a dog voice? How the moon? Oh.
Yeah.
See, as soon as you
Order
said-
the A1 steak sauce for your burger.
Yeah, I was thinking more like a Winston Churchill or something, because you said bulldog.
Bulldog.
English
I love a dog.
No A1 for my hamburger.
No, wait, Miss, on my one, please. I'm Roger. That's what I want on the table.
Well, we are a little ways through the mic check. I don't know if we're going to be able to do everybody doing it solo this time around.
Okay, well, we'll drop the solo, and we will
Mm-hmm.
cap it off here. This has been a fantastic mic check, and hey, guys, they are always fantastic. So if you're watching this on YouTube, come on, have fun with us. We are here every Monday, 7 o'clock Eastern, 4 o'clock Western, and it is a blast. And who knows, you might end up reading like a dog.
You never know what you're going to find on the mic check.
We will
Tune in next
see you
week.
later.